会啊。But you make me speak Francais. Feels like we're in Paris, away from our parents. I'm kind of a chain smoker, but with you I wanna do better. Never been a go-getter, but I wanna get with you forever, ever. Cause you're not just a cute girl in my room. Never. Feels like we're in Paris, away from our parents.
All right, welcome everyone to the Ghost Show for March. That's not March 10th. March 10th is wrong. Let's try that again. How about, what is today? Today is the 18th? 17th. Today is the 17th. We'll get that done. Figure that one out here. It is St. Patrick's Day. Awesome. March 17th, 2021. Welcome everyone to the Ghost Show here at Ready to Go. This is our weekly update where we cover either a lot or a little. I think today is going to be on the little side, but we'll figure that one out. We'll scrambling a little bit. We did a whole bunch of audio setup in the back, so I'm a little behind on scheduling and getting this all put together, but that's okay. We'll just get it nice and sweet. So what about Ready Tech Go announcements? Let's start there. Marty, what do we have going on here at Ready Tech Go that people should know about?
Well, again, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. It is March 17th, and we are open every day here at Ready to Go at the Mall of America, third floor, north end of the mall. We're between Nordstrom and the food court. If you're on the third floor, come check us out. And there's a lot to do here. We've just started building out our birthday party offering. So if you're interested in a birthday party unlike any other, a birthday party where you can have an esports tournament that's live streamed and up on the big screen at the Mall of America. If you're interested in everybody at your party racing RC cars around a racetrack that's all lit up and amazing looking, like the one right above me on the screen right here, you can do that. That can also be live streamed. We can design a drone experience for whatever level of pilots are involved in the party. And all these things can be done one or bundled together. And the live stream element is really cool because not only can other parents watch while their kids are at the party and whoever else wants to watch, but you end up with a fully produced video of the party as an archive because a live stream becomes an archive. And so that's pretty exciting. So parties are definitely something that we're excited about. The RC cars are going to become their own league here. So looking for people who are interested in RC car racing here at the Mall of America with the mini Q cars. That is something that is just about to get going with Sour Power, who we're going to hear from in a little bit, running that. And of course, if you haven't heard, we've got a giant keg of 1919 root beer in the back, and we need help drinking it. So we're not even going to charge you for it. If you like root beer and you want root beer, come on in to Ready Tech Go. That is the secret that we are telling you, the viewers of TheGoSho.
That is right. It is the secret, the worst kept secret here at Ready Tech Go. I'm going to shove root beer down your throat if you come in. Drink it.
Best taste secret. It's very good.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. All right, yeah, that's it for Ready Tech Go probably this week. Just a reminder, we have lots of opportunities to fly on the Microtrack Smash. We'll set up Microtrack number 1, number 2, so that'll be our bridge segue into YDSC updates. So we are closing in. We are 4 days away from the deadline to get your time in for Microtrack Smash number 1. So if you have not done that yet, make sure you get that DVR uploaded with your times. I think we have about almost 10 schools now put in at least one time, but I think we are still looking for 2 times, or that second player for a lot of the schools still. So if you have any problems, of course, reach out to us. We will help you get that done.
There was one question today. Mr. Hall from Holy Angels was here today. We celebrated him on our last Thursday night flights race because he's bringing so many pilots into the YDSC from Holy Angels. But his question, Joel, we can just talk about it here on the Go Show.
Yeah.
He could start the timing, but the timing wouldn't stop. So the app would start, but it would never conclude and allow for the saving of any time because the times would never end. Any idea what that is? I'm springing this on Joel live here on the show.
That's weird. I haven't seen that before. We'll have to debug that one after the fact. So please let us know if you have those types of problems.
But that's how you do it, everybody.
Yeah.
You bring it to us, yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
So 4 days left on that, and Track Smash number 2 is open for business as well. So if you have the ability to do that, if you already put in your, it's number 1 times, go ahead and get started on number 2. I think we have think about a half dozen pilots have already put down times. Don't be scared off by Viper, but everyone else is really starting to get their stuff in. It looks great. So.
Well, and speaking about Microtrack Smash, talk about the rankings a little bit, because we know that Viper is crazy fast. Another pilot who's crazy fast is walking up and down the lane here, but you don't have to worry about that necessarily, right? Everybody has a chance to put times on the board and make a good showing.
That's right. So I'll kind of explain it briefly here because it's rather in depth. I walked Happy through it a couple days ago, and he was kind of like looking at me like, what? And then it kind of clicked. So basically what's going to happen is at the end of Microtrack Smash number 1, so in about 4 days, we're going to have a bunch of times from all the pilots ranging from 3-second laps up to maybe 100-second laps and everything in between. And what I'm going to try and take a look at is what the distribution of those times are as far as like an average lap. So we're going to take those 5 fastest laps, we're going to average them out. So that should be 3 seconds to about 120 if you only got 1 lap in the 2 minutes. And what will happen is I expect to see kind of a population density distribution. So that means that there will be a time kind of in the middle where most of the pilots are going to cluster around. I expect that to be around 30 to 40 seconds for all 5. So laps will be between 10 and 15 seconds will be an average lap is my expectation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a normal distribution to this, and every pilot who is within basically 1 deviation or 1 standard deviation of that median time is going to be ranked gold. That basically is what the most of the pilots will fall into that category. If you are between a standard deviation and a 2 standard deviations or the variance, you're going to be ranked either silver on the low end or platinum on the high end. If you fall outside those ranges, so you're Viper basically, or you're still just struggling to get that 1 lap in 120 seconds, which is fine, everyone starts there, you will be ranked at bronze. And then within those, we're going to have that whole spectrum. That'll kind of be your medal. But then we're also going to give you an actual ranking, what we call a season ranking. And that'll be from 0 to 5,000. 5,000 being the top pilot. 0 or in that general vicinity will be the lower pilots. And then that number is going to be what will help us rank your teams. So we're going to take your top 2 pilots, take their season ranking, add them together, and that will be your ranking on the ladder. Remember, we are in leaderboards right now. Leaderboards are going to take those scores. They're the ones that are going to adjust your season ranking per pilot. And then we're going to basically sum or aggregate all of your pilot rankings into a team ranking, which is the combination of those values. And then that will be your ladder. Now, the ladder rules are going to be separate, and we'll talk about that later. But your ability to move up and down the ladder is going to be constrained. So it's not going to be just the most recent leaderboard ranking adjustments that's going to reflect on the ladder. Your ladder will have to be something that you have to work towards up and down. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But there's basically buffers and different ways for you to take a week off, all the different fun things. But that's it in a nutshell. I'll go over some fun math online in a document and explain it. My goal here is to be extremely transparent with how we do the rankings. Because I think it's fun. It's one of the more fun elements of math. It covers some of my favorite categories of math, probability and statistics, which I just find immensely useful in a lot of different situations, and it should be fun. We'll go through that, and you'll get an insight into how a lot of esports games do their rankings, and why we do it our way, and how they do it their way, and the comparisons, and help you understand a lot of these things better. So that's the math lesson that's upcoming. As far as our, our STEM stuff here, we'll get into that. It'll be fun though. So,
sounds like a really smart way to rank everybody, and the fact that there's a math lesson built right into it is extra awesome. So, thank you, Joel. I'm sure this will become a lot more clear as we start seeing these leaderboards published. And after this weekend, we will see our first official national leaderboard in the YDSC for Microtrack Smash 001. So again, get your times in by the end of this Sunday, midnight Sunday night, Central Time is the deadline, and I cannot wait to see how everything shakes out. Now, of course, we still have sim races in the YDSC. Before we move on from the YDSC, I just want to say our sim races continue. We are doing Kid Legends again like we do on Wednesdays right after the Go Show. Kid Legends for grades 2 through 5. Drone games. That's a little racing, a little hide and seek, or quad and seek as we call it. Some tags, some chase the gates, all the fun games for the elementary kids. Tomorrow we usually have high school and middle school. We do not have it this week. So no Thursday night flights this week because there is a multi-GP race and we step aside for that. And several of our pilots fly in the multi-GP race and do very well in the multi-GP race. So we'll be cheering for them. And then Friday, spring break is over for the college kids. We're back with CDS Fridays, Collegiate Drone Sports Championships. More college pilots vying for a spot in our Sim Championships weekend. That's this Friday at 5 p.m. Central. Curious to see which college pilots are showing up and performing well this Friday. So our usual Wednesday, Thursday, Friday continues, just no Thursday this week. Back at full strength next week. That's the Sim season continuing in the YDSC. Oh, and we also added something on our last Thursday race. We did highlight Mr. Jason Hall from Holy Angels, who has been bringing more pilots than any other team, any other school. And so we are doing a coaches spotlight on our live streams. Maybe that's an incentive for these teachers to get more kids to show up in the sim. I don't know. But we want to definitely celebrate our coaches who are doing so much to support the students who are learning to fly and help them thrive in the YDSC.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, is it time for our weekly routine? He's busy getting some pilots ready. Oh, the Kid Legends are already gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Will we have to jump into Hangout Live for this to work?
Either that, or you could just jump onto your headset or my headset. One of the two. Let's see if he's ready.
Sour Power, are you ready?
I think he's wrangling some fifth graders at the moment. So.
Brian. Hey, Brian.
Well, while we wait for him, I'm going to go into my little segment here. Another little segment. So, one of the things that we want to talk about, and as we're watching pilots come through Ready Tech Go to put down times on their micro track smash, what we're seeing is that DVR is not something that everyone is familiar with yet. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you should be hitting record at the beginning of every single flight before you take off, and then stopping it at the end. First one, and probably the most important one, is when you are flying, whether it's indoors or outdoors, and we can speak to this in both situations. If you lose your quad somewhere, it's upside down, you can't turtle, your battery got unplugged, you don't know where it is. Sometimes the only way you're able to find it is by reviewing the DVR to try and identify any objects in the video as it's crashing or upside down somewhere to try and find out where it is. This is a very common technique when we lose our quads. It might be in a park, it might be in a lake, it might be anywhere really. And so DVR is very critical for that. Get in the habit of turning your DVR on and turning it off when you're done, just in the event of said crash. Always good. Another good reason for having DVR. Did you do something awesome? Did you hit a gap or do a power flip or do an incredible run and you're like, oh, I wish I would have had that. It's cheap. You know, most of our DVR sessions for about 2 to 3 minutes of flight is maybe at 200 megabytes on disk, and that's in raw MJPEG format, which is like uncompressed. If you have a 32 gigabyte micro SD card, which is basically what you probably have, which is like the smallest size that you can buy nowadays anyway, that is still about 150 batteries. There's no way you're going to fill that card up. Just hit it, record it, and stop it. Don't worry about it. Like, it's not going to fill up. You're not wasting any space. Go for it. Another good reason, you can review your old DVR for improvements. Take a look at the lines that you were taking on a course as you're flying through it. Figure out where you could trim a few seconds, cut a corner a little bit closer, see where your mistakes are at, all those good things. Always good to review yourself, go back, see where you can make improvements. Another good reason is sometimes when you're out racing, You may go into a DVR review for a competition, and they may be looking at their DVR, which sometimes can actually be different than yours, shockingly enough, depending upon whether you're recording at 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second. Sometimes things get messed up. Sometimes they don't have the DVR, they lost it, they forgot to get it. Maybe things aren't in sync. There's a lot of other nuances around DVR. And so having your own copy in the event of a situation like this can be very helpful. You can prove to them that, yes, I did go through that gate, or yes, I definitely got through that gate first, so I got a better position. So all good reasons to have that DVR on in the middle of a competition. It's proof for basically your performance. And then the last, reason number five, why you should be recording at the beginning of every flight is Microtrack Smash requires it. If you do not upload your DVR, we do not count your time. Without the proof, it didn't happen. So that is a very strict requirement. And on that note, I'm going to make one other note. I guess I can't show you specifically, but when you are recording that QR code at the beginning of your session, right before you fly, you need to make sure that it fills as much of the screen as possible. You also should probably try and keep any on-screen display elements that you have set up on your quad out of the middle of the frame, so you don't have any extra elements laying on top of the QR code. Also, beware of glares. Viper has a new fast time that he can't validate because there's a glare on the QR code, and so you can't read it. So, avoid glares. So you can do that just by tilting the quad, positioning it correctly. Make sure it fills the screen as much as possible, and make sure to do it for all 10 seconds. That way the system has as much opportunity to try and isolate it as possible. And those are my DVR tips for today. Is Brian ready?
All really, really good reasons. I didn't even know all those, or hadn't thought of them, but makes a ton of sense. I really like finding your quad outside. I mean, it's just a good habit to get into for a number of different reasons. And if you're flying in the YDSC and Microtrack Smash, you got to do it anyway. And so we're developing good habits, and Microtrack Smash continues to amaze me, and how Joel has developed this system for timing with your phone, verifying with your DVR, putting it all together. Our system makes sense of it, and this first leaderboard is going to be awesome to see. So that is your DVR tips for the day. I don't know if we're going to be able to get Sauer pulled away from his proteges. Is he ready? You got time? Okay. So.
Okay.
Got it. So you're going to have to wait until next TheGoSho to get maybe double. We'll do double Sauer power time next TheGoSho because he's got a lot of important things to say. Anything?
That's a lot of notes. I could wrote a novel over there. The Power Corner. That's going to be awesome. Well, I'll just do my suggestions of what I thought we might be able to cover. Okay. All right. As we watched a lot of kids go through Microtrack Smash last weekend, one of the things that we kept trying to coach all the kids on was to start slow. So many kids will basically take off and fly as fast as they can on lap number one, thinking I got the best battery. I'm fresh. I really want to push it right out of the gate to try and get the fastest lap and those personal best laps right off the bat. Do not do that. You want to start slow. When you're doing a Microtrack Smash, since you're going to be racing that course up to maybe 10, 20, maybe even 30 laps over the course of the couple minutes, you need to start slow and work your way through it. No crash. No crashing. Find the lines. The first time through, you're going to be all over the place. You're going to be swinging wide, swinging left, up and down. Just get through, no crashes. The next time through, improve your line. Find a way to cut that corner a little bit closer, but keep it slow until you find your line and you're like, okay, this feels really comfortable. I have this line locked in my brain. I understand what I'm supposed to do and around each turn and how to pre-turn and anticipate these turns and where I'm supposed to go. Keep it slow. Then, once your line is locked in, you're comfortable with it, then increase your speed little by little, 5% this time. Go a little bit faster, but keep going with no crashes. It is way faster on your final time to do your laps with no crashes than it is to try and push it and get maybe, let's say, 4 fast laps and 1 lap with a crash. I promise that crash is going to take off at least 10 seconds, sometimes more, sometimes around that, whatever. But you want to do it with no crashes. That's the goal. Goal number 1. If you look at some of the fast pilots, and I'm going to keep bringing up Viper because it is just incredible to watch him do these things. The amount of times that he will fly a course, but whenever he puts down the next fastest time that he's working towards, it's almost always the last 5 laps. Almost always. Because he starts slow. He finds his line, he gets comfortable in it, and then he starts to pick up speed, and then his best time sequencing is almost always at the very end. You can watch that in his videos. He'll actually push it and go screaming through the finish gate and crash right after it. That's his last lap. He's done. He's already done his 10 laps or 15 laps before that, and that's what he's working up towards. So there's the MTS suggestions for how you should be thinking and approaching your microtrack Sash flights. So.
Best practices emerging in the brand new Microtrack Smash series, and if anything, if you hear about what Viper's doing and how he's doing it, that is one pilot to emulate, and he's here at Ready Tech Go a lot. So chances are, if you come over here at the Mall of America, you might see Viper, you might see Happy, the pilot from Lakeville, who's here right now. These are pilots who are putting in work and flying a lot. They love it, but it's working for them. They're getting better and better and better, and they're pretty much unstoppable. Let's see, though, who emerges as the Microtrack Smash crosses the country. We got a lot of interesting pilots from a lot of different states that are going to be appearing on that board. I'm really excited.
Yep, it should be great. I think that's it for the YDSC updates. Calendar, we have some Hydra updates. Maybe just a few. Actually, I don't know if I can actually disclose any of those. Actually, there'll be app updates for... I think an Android app update came out on Saturday. We were part of the 533 Winter Series Championships, which was fun with Hydra. There's an iOS update finally coming out. I think it's been like almost 9 months since I put an update out. It's been stable, so but there's some features I need to get up to speed. So that update will be coming out in the next day or two to prepare for the weekend. If you don't have the app update, or the app, go download it and watch some of the other, Tiny Whip racing and other, quad racing going on across the country. There's a couple of directors who use it weekly, so you can tune in and watch some of those other races. YDSC app update will be coming out here as well, and with the ability to kind of review all the pilot's footage directly in it once it's been, validated on our end. And then as far as that's it. Let's say there's some big announcements coming up on Sunday. So we'll cover those ones on Sunday or next week. So
I got a couple more things. As we have been all through the past few months, we are helping MultiGP with their STEM challenge. And so tonight and tomorrow night.
Yeah, tonight and tomorrow night. Yep.
With the beginners and the advanced pilots. Hydra helping to support MultiGP's effort with students. So we'll be doing that. And I don't know if you saw this, Joel. We did get a message from the organizers of the Collegiate Drone Racing Championships sim race that's coming up in April, and they want to have us help with that. And I think we're going to be super excited to help with that. So always excited to work with CDRA on the CDRC. So Hydra helping out races and pilots all over the country with things that they do. And that's been from the beginning. So I just wanted to put in a word about that. Anything else you want to cover today, Joel, before we get ready for Kid Legends?
Nope. Let's take a 10-minute break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with Kid Legends. I think we saw a couple pilots walking in who are interested in joining the Kid Legends, so we'll get them set up, let them watch and do that. But we will say goodbye for today. Talk to you guys in just a few minutes if you stick around for the KL, and then back next week with GoSho number 3, and there should be a lot more announcements then. We'll have some results to cover, and should be great.
Right. Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Central. We'll see you then.
All right, bye.